Hey guys, this is Ankit and welcome to the Google Cloud Platform Task Series. We are doing a list of basic tasks to get ourselves familiar with Google Cloud Provider, that is GCP. We are following the DevOps Engineer and SRE learning path, also available at cloudskillsboost.google/paths. In this particular task, we are also using a GitHub repository, hello logging nodejs.git. You can always get more details by going to the repository thecloudterminal01/learn-devops. So in this particular task, we have the following objectives. First, we will set up and deploy a Node.js test application. We will explore the log entries generated by the test application. After that, we will create and use a log-based metric. Finally, we will export the application logs to BigQuery. The total amount of time we will be spending will be around 18 to 21 minutes. So let's begin. Let's start with our first subtask, which is enabling the required APIs. So I'll copy this and run them in Cloud Shell terminal. Authorize. And we will clone this application in our next subtask. So this is a basic Hello World example application written in Node.js and is designed to explore some of the Google's Operation Suite features. We are going to make few changes in some of the routes and we will use it to deploy to Cloud Run. So let me copy this and let's clone it. So cloning is complete. We can open editor in a new tab. I've already opened the editor. So if we go over here and let's open the index.js file. In particular, we will be changing the /random error route. We want to generate an uncaught exception every 20 requests. So let's go and check the /random error route. Let's change this. The change is done. Let's go and check our changes as well. Yeah, so our changes are there. Now let's deploy our changes. The build and deployment is complete. So we used rebuild service.sh script for this. This script has the following content. In the first line, we basically submit a build to Google Cloud Build. This builds the image and pushes it to container registry. After that, we use Cloud Run command to run that image in Cloud Run. Let's visit this URL. And we see hello world. This completes our subtask. In our next subtask, let's add some traffic to our application. So I'll first set the URL environment variable. And now let's add some traffic. So as you can see, it gives error in some of the requests. Now let's go to logging and explore the logs. I'll first select the resource. I need Cloud Run Revision, hello logging, and we will select the first revision name. Click on apply. Let's say we want to view all the logging events that do not contain 200 status code. So I will click on hide matching entries. Let's say we want to view standard error. So I can click on this. So this gives us our standard error output. Now let's move on to our next subtask, in which we will create and use a log-based metric. For that, we will be sending traffic to a different route, that is /score. So I'll go back over here and let's stop this traffic and let's start the traffic on /score. So this is our /score function. We are basically printing a random number between 1 and 100 and calling it as score. Then we are printing it as a console.log, where we are printing the logs in single line. In a later part, we will change this and print the logs as stringified JSON objects. Let's go back to Logs Explorer. We will again select resource as hello logging, which we did initially as well. So we started getting /score logs. Let's select the std out logs. Let's expand them. Let's expand all the fields. And this is the state of our logs now. Now let's make a change to our /score route. Now we are printing our logs as stringified JSON objects. And we have the following fields. We have message, score, container ID, and fun factor. So let's go back over here. Let's stop the traffic and let's check our changes. So our changes have been reflected as well. Let's deploy our changes again. So I will again run sh rebuild service.sh and wait for our changes to get deployed. The changes have been deployed. We can go to this URL and this validates that the changes are live. Now let's open a new logging session and view the changes of new Cloud Run revision. So this one is the old Cloud Run revision. We will open this session and let's select resource, Cloud Run, hello logging, and we want to select the second revision. Click on apply. So these are our application startup logs. We have not yet started the traffic. So let's go back and start traffic again. Let's click on jump to now. And let's wait for some time for the application to receive traffic. So we started getting traffic in logs for our new Cloud Run revision, and I can filter them with std out. And let's open this event, expand the nested fields, and here you will see that our stringified JSON object appears over here. We have container ID, we have fun factor, message, and score. If we compare this with our previous version of logs, we were printing everything as a text payload, and we had score, container ID, and fun factor in single line. Now we are printing them as stringified JSON objects, which is a better logging experience. Now let's create a metric based on this. So I will click on create metric. Let's keep the metric type as distribution. We'll give the metric name as score averages. We'll keep the unit as 1. We want the field as JSON payload.score. Let's click on advanced. We want this to be linear. The buckets start value will be 0, and we want the number of buckets to be 20 and bucket width to be 5. And let's click on create metric. So now let's go to monitoring dashboards and pull our new metric in a dashboard. Let's go to dashboards, create a dashboard. Let's use line chart library. We want to give the title as score info, and the dashboard will be score fun. Let's use resource and metric as Cloud Run revision. We want to get log based metric, and we want to use logging user score averages. Click on apply. So we have data coming in. Let's move on to our next subtask, where we will export the application logs to BigQuery. Let's first modify the traffic to our application. We will again start hitting the random error route. So I'll go back to dashboard, stop the while loop, and start a new while loop which hits a random error route. So let's go back to Logs Explorer. Click on jump to now, and we can see that we are getting logs for a random error route. Let's clear this and run query again. So now we are getting logs from Cloud Run revision, which is the revision 2. So I'll go to more actions. Let's create a sync. Let's give the name as hello logging sync. I'll click on next. We'll keep the sync service as BigQuery data set. Let's create a new BigQuery dataset. The dataset ID would be hello logging logs. Let's keep everything as default and create a data set. Let's go to next. Again, next. And click on create sync. Now let's navigate to BigQuery. Three tables over here. There is requests, there is std out and std error. Let's click on request table. We can check the schema, details and preview. Similarly, we can go to std error. This is the schema, these are the details, and this is the preview. And the same goes for std out as well. Let's go to std error and click on query. Let's run this query. We will change the project ID. Let's copy the project ID from here. And the date we have to give as the query is fine. Let's run the query. And this is our result. Now let's change the query and use count. Let's run it. So we have 95 rows available satisfying this condition. Let's run another query now. We want to compare the errors with total number of requests. So I will copy the project ID from here. Let's replace the project ID here. And we will replace it over here as well. Let's change the date as well. So the query is fine now. We will run it. So that's it for today's video. See you in the next one.